Sitting here with Bret Vorhees. He's the president and CEO of Taurus. And, man, we are getting to the final day of the SHOT Show. I know you got to be excited because it's been a long SHOT Show.
It's been a long week for me, yeah. We come out early, get everything set up, and have our whole team out here doing that. And so, yeah, it's a long week, but it's a fun week.
Oh, no doubt. And that's what we've been talking about a lot is the logistics of getting a staff, in y'all's case with Taurus.
Yeah.
Y'all got people from all over the world that y'all flying in, getting here, trying to make sure you got hotel rooms.
Yep, we got people from Germany, Czech Republic, Brazil, in addition to 20 plus people from the U.S. here. And so it's a big haul that luckily I don't have to do a whole lot of it, but our team handles it and they do a good job of it.
Nice. And another thing too is you're in Las Vegas, Nevada, and you got people from all over the world, all over the United States that's representing working with Taurus.
Yep.
And then my question is, how does somebody be responsible for who behaves in Las Vegas? Because somebody's got to get their foot caught in the front wheel.
It's kind of big boy rules a lot of the time, but we want people to have fun. We want them to enjoy their time. It's not all work, but at the same time, we got to show up in the morning and be presentable and ready to go. So it's big boy rules when it comes to that.
That's what's the old saying: if you're gonna be dumb, you better be tough.
That's right.
Basically, that's it. You gotta be responsible.
Don't care what you do, but you better ring the bell in the morning.
That's exactly
8:30 when this thing kicks off. You're ready to go.
You have to tell your employees, like I tell my kids sometimes, be responsibly mischievous.
That's right.
If you're going to do something.
You want to get into some fun.
You got to have fun. It's
good.
Las Vegas,
Yeah.
Well, what's going on at Taurus, man? You guys have always been innovators.
Yeah, it's been so we've got 4 or 5 new products we launched here at the show. I think last year we launched 54 new products, and so we're always pumping out new stuff, revamping existing product lines, bringing new things out. We got in the bolt action rifle segment last year, and more in the hunting space. We've been in hunting revolvers for a long time, but so we're spread across the 3 brands that we own. We're spread across almost every segment of the industry for firearms. So there's always something coming out for sure.
That is really cool. You guys, one of the first guns that I ever remember my dad getting, when the 9mm craze hit.
Sure.
My dad went to Big Buck Trading Post in Manchester, Georgia, and he bought a stainless Taurus. I forget even the model. And bro, I remember I was young. I had to have been 13 or 14, and I literally I would just stare at that gun one day.
Yeah.
I'm having a gun that's cool. And then it was several years ago. I'd say 7 or 8 years ago, he gave me that gun.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's my gun in my everyday that I carry.
That's awesome.
Is that Taurus stainless. I don't even know the model, but it's a 9mm. I've got a couple extra clips.
Yeah.
And that's the gun on my concealed carry that I keep on me all the time.
I love that.
So I love it. It shoots good, and I can shoot it accurate. And one thing I remember my dad, because since then, especially walking around here, oh my God, there's possibly thousands of manufacturers. I don't know if seems more than 100. And you see some good product, But it seems like Taurus to me, and I remember my dad bought that one, it's high quality but at a very affordable cost.
Yes.
And that seems that Taurus, y'all set that standard and are that product, it seems.
Yeah, we really do try to own kind of the, not entry level in terms of features, but in terms of price point. We want to be your first gun purchase, and then hopefully we keep you in our brands, going forward for the majority of your gun purchases. But, we have a very robust infrastructure in terms of manufacturing where we do almost everything in-house, big factories all over the world. We have 4 factories globally. And we have a cost advantage, and we can apply that to our products and get them out in the market for the best price possible.
Yeah, and they work. I mean, for instance, over the years, since that point my dad bought that gun, I bought a lot of different brands, and I have enjoyed shooting them all. They're really good.
Yeah.
But maybe that was one of the first guns I remember as a kid getting to shoot, and I just shoot it really well, and I know the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
I feel pretty quick on it. I'm not a what I would call an insane accurate pistol shooter, but I can shoot that gun more accurate than any, and so it's never jammed. I've never had any problems. Obviously, I keep it clean, and so that's my go-to. It's either
awesome.
in my glove box or or it's out. I sometimes take it hunting or trapping, with me. So and again, I compare what that gun costs sometimes to some of the other guns I purchased. And I'm like, man, this is pretty amazing, and to see how, when you develop new products and you figure out how to do that, it's amazing how I think a lot of people don't see what goes into the research and development. How do you kind of make the margins work for you guys as you're selling to a retailer or gun stores? But then the same token, make enough profit to cover costs, but at the same time, you're trying to generate something that you stick into that price point. And y'all just, to me, y'all just kill it there. Y'all just do such a good job.
You know, you have a concept and the features have to be right. You generally know what the consumer's looking for. Sometimes if you're being innovative, you're taking a gamble because maybe they don't know they want this feature or whatever you're designing. But you want to keep in mind throughout the entire process, this is our target retail price, and you kind of work backwards from there. We have margin guidelines that we want to achieve as a company, but we also know our retailers want to make X amount.
Right.
And so we build all that into the cost structure, and that's front and center while we're developing the products. Luckily our engineers and we don't farm out a lot of the process. So the prototyping, everything is done in-house.
Wow, that's cool.
Which it makes it fast for us. Also, we're not relying on someone else that's going to take months to get tooling up and running or something like that. We can do it in days. But at the same time, the costs are way cheaper for us to be able to create a mold or create different fixtures for the CNC machines and not to get too nerdy, but that's what goes into it. And the engineers do a great job, getting prototypes early, and then we get our hands on them and start shooting them. And I'm very involved in that because that's kind of my passion in the industry. That's what I've done for most of my career. And so it's like, we start shooting them, we start really, getting our hands on them, and then there's things that you tweak and change, and it's just a really fun process. But it takes, we're pretty fast at it. It might take over 2 years to get a gun from concept to shipping into the stores.
Wow, yeah, but that's still quick comparatively.
Quick.
Yeah,
a lot of companies, and there's international borders here too. So a lot of times in that scenario, you're talking 3 to 5 years to get a gun all the way to market. We do it relatively quick, but it's a fun process.
Yeah.
And, it's really cool to see something from paper to a tangible item that you can go test out in the range. It's really cool.
That's really good. It's really nice y'all set up that efficient where you can go, whether it's a consumer demand, like, look, this is what people are wanting, and then vice versa. Maybe you're meeting with a retailer and they're saying, listen, we need a gun. This price point will work. It needs to be stainless, or it needs to be, whatever, Cerakoted or a certain way. The grip needs to be this. Here's the capacity. Y'all can take notes and go back and kind of get with the internal team.
We get a lot of the feedback from customers in that way. So we actually have we do product development focus groups that, sometimes they're like expert end users, sometimes they're customers, but we get a diverse group of people in and we start trading ideas and bouncing it off. But it's important to have the customers looped in because we might have a good idea, but that only guarantees that we sell one because I'm going to buy one. We want to make sure that the customers are going to buy into it, and so their feedback is very valuable in that way.
How hard is it too on those manufacturing? Like, kind of not the best example. Like, I'm a guitar player. Say it's a Gibson guitar. They all have that certain feel and vibe, and so I'm sure in one way they're trying to innovate new product, but still in guitars the Les Paul is a standard, maybe the Gibson SG, and you guys have done a good job to where even if it's a new product, it always seems and looks and feels like a Taurus, if that makes sense, where there's other manufacturers that seem to do the same. That seems like that would be hard to do, to be innovative, but not lose your recipe of the feel and look and
you certainly want some brand identity when you're, what does it look like, what does it feel like, our grip texture. We spend a lot of time talking about grip texture, and it's a weird thing. Like, you wouldn't think, like, you just kind of texture the mold and it molds the plastic or whatever, but that's an important feature, and ours is kind of unique in the way that we developed it. But essentially all of our semi-automatic pistols has the exact same grip texture. It might look a little different on the frame, but it feels the same. So we want it to be aggressive where it's functional, but not so aggressive that it's going to tear up your skin or your clothes if you're carrying it. And so there's this trade-off there. It's a lot of effort that goes into little details like that. But that creates your brand identity.
There's no doubt. Y'all have done a good job with that. And it is funny. It's like, to me, when you talk about product development, that would be one of the toughest things. And two, when you get a certain mechanism or a product that works, it's almost like, okay, we need to innovate, but how do we make this any better?
Sure.
So that would be challenges, I'm sure. Yeah.
And look, you go around this building, there are, like you said, hundreds or thousands of manufacturers, and pretty much everyone's making great guns at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's a great day to go buy a firearm. Like you're not going to go wrong in most cases. But you're right. Like we already developed what we thought was the best that we could do, and now we have to go out and find ways to improve it and do stuff like that. It gets challenging, for
right.
sure.
It is amazing. I was walking around today and I saw a company and I kind of stopped and just looking at their guns. Didn't talk to anybody, but then I walked through. I saw a Glock booth. Then I walked a little further and I saw a Browning booth. And it hit me because I mostly work in marketing.
Sure.
We do the hunting shows, and I was like, wow. In my mind, it's like, as I'm looking at this gun, a brand I've never heard. It looks good, but I'm thinking, well, I wonder if this thing jams. I wonder if it does this. I wonder if it really has the accuracy. And then I see that. Then I saw y'all's booth, and it's amazing when you get that brand identity that the customers know they can rely on.
Sure.
That is such a huge win, and there's so many of the brands that you know,
sure.
But there's hundreds around here that I've never heard of, and I'm sure they're here hopefully to make a name. So it's I guess what I'm getting to is congratulations you guys of having that standard of what y'all can give and deliver to the customer.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of new brands in this building, but we're celebrating our 85th year in the gun business this year. So
got to do something right.
We're one of the long-standing folks.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some older brands out there. Beretta's one of the oldest companies in the world, regardless of industry. But there's a lot of guys that have only come to the show for 2 or 3 years.
Right.
Like they didn't come to the show before COVID happened.
Correct.
So it's great to see. The competition's healthy for all of us, and not all of them compete directly, but you're going to have new guns coming to market and things that we haven't thought about, and it's going to push everyone to continue innovating, and that's a good thing it's a good thing for the people watching at home.
Yeah, no doubt.
They're benefiting from that.
And a lot of people don't realize it. I think about this, but what y'all are creating, I mean, obviously we think about the recreation and hunting, and y'all now getting into bolt guns. That's
sure.
cool to hear. But a lot of the safety and a lot of the conceal and really the Second Amendment type opportunities, man, it's a life preserver. I mean, nobody wants a life preserver that don't hold them up.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Sometimes that first or second shot, if you've got a police officer that's got your product and he's got evil, if it's military, or if it's even someone at home, a wife who has some intruder trying to break in, the product working and that brand that you can trust, that's everything. Because the worst thing you can do is like, okay, I got this gun for protection, or even in hunting, and then all of a sudden it doesn't shoot, or maybe it doesn't cycle. It's amazing.
Yeah,
the responsibility with that,
and that's really where we are as a company. We talked about how we're kind of the price leader in the market, if you want to call it that. The core belief there is that we are staunch Second Amendment, not supporters, enthusiasts.
Right.
I believe personally, and the people on our staff, we believe that everybody should have access to a reliable, dependable, accurate concealed carry firearm for self-defense.
Right.
Regardless of price, regardless of their budget, they should be able to go out and buy that. And so that's really what is driving us to continue to bring new guns to market. A lot of times companies will bring a new gun to market and the price point's $100 higher than their prior model. We just brought out a new gun and replaced a legacy model, and the price is the exact same.
Wow.
The gun is, I think, significantly better. But we intentionally are being aggressive in the price point because we want everybody to be able to afford that gun. And if you're more well off than others, you want a gun in every floor of your house, you can now afford to do that with this model. So that's kind of the thought process.
Yeah, and to be able to do it to where they work, the affordability, offer new models that are better in doing that. There's not many manufacturers that's doing what y'all doing in that realm. I mean, because I'm a gun enthusiast. Obviously, I do a lot of bow hunting too, obviously, but I'm walking around kicking cans, looking at different brands,
sure.
Holding them. I've got a bunch of revolvers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's guns you want to buy because they are cool, they're efficient, but you guys have done one hell of a job of being able to keep that brand. My dad would be excited, man. I would get to tell him I talked to the CEO, president of Taurus. He'll be so excited, man.
That's awesome.
My dad is the biggest Taurus fan. I'm completely sincere. He's got one Ruger Security 6, and the rest are all Tauruses that he bought.
That's fantastic.
And it is because exactly what you said. It's an affordable gun. The brand he believes in. He's never had a problem with them, and And so anyway, I say that just to say congratulations. When you got a 71-year-old guy from Georgia who's not really a pistol guy, and his pistol repertoire is all Taurus, that says a lot.
That's fantastic. Sure. Well, I really do appreciate that. So that's great to hear.
No doubt, Bret. Well, hey, man. Take care.
So
it's a pleasure meeting you. Thanks for chatting with us, and congratulations on all your success, man. You and the team, y'all been kicking butt, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really.
Thanks.